I'm your host, Super Gaming here. We're going to talk about new things that have been happening with the setup, and we're also going to talk about lenses. To update you on things that we've recently gone to the setup, is we now have the Elgato foot pedal that has been brought into the setup, which is really fun. I got for my birthday. Birthday balloon right up there. We also got Goku stand that lights up and everything. We got an ND filter for the stock lens. We got a closed bracket on the top of the mount of this now. We got now this lens that's right in front of us, guys. It is the Sigma 18 to 55mm, and here is right here in front of us the stock lens that was variable f-stop from f3.5 to f5.6, a variable zoom from 16mm to 50mm with optical Steadyshot built inside. Why did I bother to go and change this type of lens? What is the difference between this lens and the lens that you're seeing right now as you're watching me through the video? Well, guys, I'll tell you it bluntly. I've been searching for what is the best type of all-round lens, what type of images I want to do, because my type of images that I like to do is I like to do pictures with blurry backgrounds. I also like videography. You can use a gimbal to make things be better, especially with pairing with this lens. There's also a little bit of footage that I shot with it. You don't really need optical Steadyshot in this type of lens that you're going for, because this lens is quite sturdy. You're not going to be dropping the thing anytime soon, and you know, it's not necessarily going to be shaking the camera like all the time with the lens. But I mainly wanted this because of its close focusing capability that is really nice for when you're wanting those low f-stop with those bokeh blur type of effects. I have a few examples of what we have. So here are some images that I took out when I was going with the lens. What made me really like this lens, as you can clearly see, is it does a nice gauge blur for those type of images, so especially a tree. You can get those nice close focusing abilities. The main reason being why I like this lens is because of the fact that it's at an f2.8. You know, yes, you can get more blur with things like an f1.4, but the reason being why I like this was because of those images where you can get those closeness, but you don't need to be like also like really far away either, and you can get those ranges from the field of views from being at 50 and also being at the low ends too. It doesn't change whilst you're viewing and you're zooming in with the lens. So the difference as in comparison, what is a variable aperture? A variable aperture is when at the lowest of your zoom range, when this one's at 16mm, it stays at 3.5, but then when it goes all the way up to the 50mm, it goes all the way up to f5.6. Those more focused in pictures with less blurrier backgrounds. However, what I wanted is a lens that I can keep those same values whenever what I go up to the board, and it doesn't matter where I'm at. I can keep that type of resolution, and I can just decide how far away I want to be from my subject or how close I want to be for the subject. So I know, for instance, when you're using the thing on 50mm, you want to be at eyes distance away from your subject. You don't want to be all the way close in on the subject. Maybe sometimes for like, because this lens is a bit like macro where you can get close to the subject. We're going to talk about 3 different variables. One is ISO in the camera, which is the digital brightness. The frame rate is shown of how fast the subject is then moving. The lower you have the frame rate down, the more processing time there is then for the picture to be taken. The more light is then let into the thing, and it also makes it then be a more blurrier picture. We're going to talk about aperture. Aperture is the f-stop. So for instance, this lens goes all the way down to f2.8. It's basically how much light is being let into the camera's internal body, and then when you go up to more f-stops like f10, that's the more focused in a picture is, the less light there is going into the sensor, the more clearer the image is, less blurrier the picture is. If you've got a thing like a strap where you can put it on yourself, make sure to hold the camera out all the way extended out with your arms, because then you're going to keep the picture as stationary as possible. There's not going to be any big upbringing that's going to happen to make the picture then not be in focus. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you guys are new to your YouTube channel, please do remember to like and subscribe. I hope to see you guys for the next video. It's been a whole bunch of fun. See you for now.